Hi, welcome out to the Unscheduled podcast. I'm your host, Zach, along with my co host.
That's me, Javi.
And today we have a very special guest with us, one of our very close friends. Welcome, the lovely and beautiful Astrid.
Oh, thank you. That was really sweet. Also, like, if you edit this, put like air horns. I want that to be my brand.
Oh my god.
We'll try. But yeah, how you been, Astrid?
I guess pretty good. There's nothing really like different. I guess all I'm doing is staying home, eating snacks, playing video games.
I'm just glad you're staying home, to be honest, unlike so many people out there.
Oh God, I know. And there's like so many people like out in public. Like if I go grocery shopping, they're like wearing their mask but not covering their noses, and I'm just like,
Oh, that makes me so mad, honestly. It like why are you like obviously like have a mask, but actually wear it the right way? Like what are you doing? Like, come
Yeah,
on.
it's ridiculous. Like, I don't get it what this sense of entitlement people feel to, like, um, not wear these masks.
Hmm.
It drives me nuts.
However, I have seen some pretty like interesting ones. Like, have you seen people wear like the surgical ones, and then there's like a bottle cap in the middle so they can like drink their Starbucks? I don't know. I think it's hilarious.
I've like not the ones where you can I've never heard of that.
It's so funny. I think it's
I
ridiculous.
don't think
Like,
I've seen that.
what is the need?
Have you seen the masks, though, that, like, zip open and close?
I have.
I have no idea how to feel about those, to be honest.
I mean, you're wearing a mask, but at the same time, at what cost?
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. Considering most things with zippers don't close all the way either, like because there's like that little gap of so it can actually open up again. I'm just like I don't know. I really have very mixed feelings about that.
Hmm.
But anyway, so you guys told me prior to recording that you guys actually had a couple topics you wanted to go over.
Yes. Animal Crossing.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm gonna totally take a back seat to this because you guys know I know next to nothing about Animal Crossing because I'm just not an Animal Crossing fan. Nothing against the games, it's just not my type of game.
Yeah.
I think like for a while I was playing and it was like really fun. And then when I unlocked terraforming, I was like, man, the burnout is real. And I have a bunch of trash all over my island because I don't have the motivation to just like finish it.
Oh my god. Like I think I got the burnout from Animal Crossing like before I even got terraforming. Like I didn't even get to terraforming like when I was just like I'll play this like 20 minutes a day. I'll do everything I need to, but I'm not gonna do anything I don't have to. Like,
Damn, that's wild.
yeah. I mean, the thing is though, like, have you seen like Astrid? Have you seen those like tweets of people like I don't know, like, but there are people like saying oh, this game like doesn't have enough content, or oh, this game is
Yeah.
like,
I
eh,
I
like,
don't
what do
know
you
how
think about that?
so I guess like half and half. Like I'm kind of like, oh, that's kind of a poor sentiment to have about a game
Mhm.
because if you think about it, it's like you're if everything's released all at once, at that point like the burnout just kind of happens faster.
Yeah.
But I think that releasing things part by part kind of makes it a little bit more interesting because like then I guess you're like morally obligated to keep playing it.
Morally
Yeah.
obligated. I love that. Just
I
ah
saw the
yes, if you
the
don't do this, you're a bad person.
I feel bad. And then I talked to my villagers, and they're like, you were gone for a month. Did I do
Oh my
something wrong?"
God.
And it's like, it's not you, it's me.
Yeah. Oh my God. I haven't like opened my Animal Crossing save in like literally over a month, and I'm actually too scared to open it again because I know all 10 of my villagers are gonna be like, Javi, you goof, where have you been for the past month? I thought you died. I thought you
Are
abandoned
you
us or
getting
something.
shamed by your villagers?
They actually no, okay, they don't shame you per se. Well, it depends on the personality.
But
But
they
like,
ask you, they're like, oh, like, it's been a month. Like, did I do something wrong? Like, some of them will
yes,
be like blaming themselves, and others will be
yes,
like, oh, you must have been too busy to play. And I'm just like, y'all need to cool it.
I know. It's
Are
like
y'all in like a manipulative, abusive relationship with your villagers?
I would like to say I am with Nintendo because Nintendo thinks it can grab my wallet whenever it wants.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh my god.
Nintendo says you're gonna take this much money out of your wallet and you're gonna like it.
Yeah. So
Catch
much.
me plugging my Cash App at the end of this so I can afford the Hatsune Miku rhythm game.
God.
But yeah, okay. So I'm like I said, I'm not into Animal Crossing or anything, but I've watched it on Twitter, like just the fandom, and
Mm.
it is something wild and just in a weird way, just interesting to behold. Because at the very beginning, it was just all love for Animal Crossing. Everyone was just like, "Yes, we got it! It's here!"
Yeah.
And it's just like fan art everywhere. People go sharing codes on how to do outfits and stuff, and then like people
Yeah.
showing off their islands, even though they'd only been out for like 24 hours. They had already built everything or something. But as the months went on, and I was watching this, it's like people seem to find more and more problems with New Horizons.
I think a big problem was that, or I guess what I thought was a big problem, is that the economic community, I guess, was just
Oh.
insane. Like once
Oh.
Amazon happened, like I thought it was like when I first found out about it, I thought it was great because I was like, finally, like I don't have to time skip or like wait a bunch of days to get something that I really enjoy. If someone just who doesn't want it will just sell it.
Yeah.
But then like the first problem was the price inflation.
Oh
That
yeah.
was like
Oof.
people were charging you. I remember you get like a plush for free from your mom, and there's like I think 5 different like plushes, like the designs that you can get, and
Yeah.
people were selling them for like 20 Nook Miles tickets, and then
Oh
like two
god.
million like bells, and I was like,
Ah.
like for something that your mom gives you for free that you don't even want, that you could easily just like duplicate with a glitch, and you're selling it for this much.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That's
That's
just
not even like that's not even touching like turnip prices as well.
Oh
It's
my
like
god.
oh my god. Oh, okay. So if you haven't played Animal Crossing, to the audience, if you haven't played Animal Crossing, there's a mechanic in which every Sunday you can buy turnips that you can sell on the stock market. That's a very intentional pun. And every day, like the price of the turnips changes every Sunday, and the price you can sell them for also changes each day. And you have until Saturday of that same week to sell those turnips. And sometimes people just never get good prices. I know for a fact for me, I've never seen a price above like 200. So what people will do is that
huh.
they'll, ask their friends or they'll, see people online and say, "Hey, do you have good turnip prices?" And if it's something like crazy, like I know you can get like up to like 600, I think, or even
Mhm.
more. Yeah, like they actually will like some people actually take advantage of that and they'll be like, "Hey, I want like a percentage of the amount of turnips you
Yeah.
sell, or I want like 20 Nook Miles tickets," or they'll even ask for villagers. I've seen that as well. So
Yeah.
it's crazy. Oh, that's another thing. The villagers as well. But that's another thing. But yeah, the turnips is just
It's
insane.
crazy. I
Wait, can you
remember
just
this
sell
guy,
off your villagers?
Oh yeah,
some people
absolutely.
sell them. Like when your villagers decide they want to like move out, you have them in boxes for a while, and anyone who like talks to them, you can come pick them up. They'll be like, "Oh, can like you move into my island?" And they'll say, "Yeah." But like a big thing is, especially with like that one cat Raymond, like soon as it like people were like, "This is like I want this," because they were calling it like the twink of Animal Crossing.
Yeesh.
Oh my god.
And I was just like, Jesus Christ. And people like would spend actual money to have like real life like currency
Yes.
to
You're
buy this cat.
lying.
No.
I'm
Yes.
not,
What?
No.
I'm
Yeah.
not even
What
kidding.
happened
I
to
saw,
this game of like this little cute game of just hey, have your own town and stuff to this like black market extortion? I swear there's I feel like there's some form of like Animal Crossing mafia now because of this.
it's kind of like awful because sometimes you'll like look through, especially like through Nookazon, like you'll look and you'll see like, oh, someone's selling Raymond, but they want like at least 6 villagers in return. Like, how are you gonna give
Oh
this
my
person
god.
6 villagers?
Yikes.
Yeah, and I've seen people on Twitter be like, "Oh, sorry, were you saying something, Zach?"
No, 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 no. I'm just like I'm in awe at this. Honestly, the closest thing I've ever gotten to this experience is with like the Pokemon GTS system.
Oh yeah.
where like
Yeah, yeah.
just like in like, and this is only very similar, where it's GTS allows you to ask for specific Pokemon to trade from
Mhm.
around the world,
Yeah.
and then you can ask what you want in return for this Pokemon. So I'll look up a Pokemon that I want, like let's say Heracross, for example, because that just came out in the
Yeah.
DLC. I'll
Uh-huh.
ask for a Heracross, but people want me to trade a legendary for him. I'm like, why? And then some people will ask
That,
for a legendary below level 10, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense because you can't
that
get them like
yeah.
below level 50.
Like, oh my God. I remember like on Pokemon Sun and Moon, like I always was doing, that trade stuff. And I would be looking like for like, I don't know, let's just say Garbodor, just for an
Okay.
example. And then they'll be asking for like Darkrai. And I'm like, dude, what? Like that makes no sense. Garbodor is literally trash. Like, why would you like that's not like to go Full Metal Alchemist, that's not an equivalent exchange. Like, what is this?
I don't know,
And
but
that I hated the most was like when so my first like official Pokemon game was what was this new one? Shield. And
Oh
I
yeah.
hated like I know I would breed the heck out of Mimikyus and I would send them out and I know that a lot of people want them because they're like kind of a rare spawn and then I'd get like that trash Pokemon back.
yeah, I mean,
Or
how
like
did
or I'd literally get a Rattata back and I'm like, why are you giving this to me?
see? But I'll
Like
be honest, I'm a lot happier with the surprise trade system than I am with the GTS, because the GTS will ask for just such specific, unrealistic things, while with the surprise trade, you still have a chance of getting some decent stuff. Like in the, I think what was
that
it, X and Y, I think was that when the first surprise trade I think was introduced. I want to
I am.
say
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was X and Y, if not Sun and Moon. I traded a Pokemon that I had just breeded that I didn't want. I think I had breeded my starter, traded it off, and I got a shiny Pokemon in return.
Oh wow.
It was a shiny Luxray, and I'm like, oh, okay,
Oh,
sure.
it's so cool. Yeah.
do you think that person fumbled the bag and accidentally like sent it out?
I
Like, do
know.
you think they regretted it?
So it could have been like one of three things. This is what I've seen people do in the community. So one is that it was a hacked Pokemon, and they just spread out a hacked Pokemon, and some people do that just so they can't be tracked back and stuff. Like once they get all the shiny Pokemon they want, they just send all their hacked Pokemon away.
Mm.
Two, it was someone who was either restarting or quitting the game. Like I've seen people who will just like give away their shinies because they're doing a hard reset to their game. And three, it really could have just been someone fumbling the bag and giving me their shiny on accident.
Yeah, and I mean there are people who just like say like, I don't really want this Pokemon. I'll just give it away. Like I don't even care for what I get.
I'll
Like
just eat
I've
this
definitely seen that.
Pokemon into the void.
I remember I talked to someone once, speaking of shiny Pokemon, real quick. They had seen a shiny Pokemon. I think it was, I want to say it was Growlithe or something like that at some point
Yeah.
in one of their games, and they had never seen Growlithe before.
Uh-huh.
I honestly don't remember what Pokemon it was, but they had never seen the actual like base form of that Pokemon before. So then they
All
were
right.
like, "Oh, I don't like this. I won't catch it." So then when they go on to
Yeah.
the next one, they're like, they catch one of the regular and they think it's a special form or something. It's like, "Oh, cool,
Oh
it's a different
no.
alternate art." And they're not entirely wrong, but the
Yeah.
alternate art was the first one, and I'm just like, you missed a shiny.
That's the problem with Gengar. Like at least in the old games, like he looked exactly the same. Like his shiny looked exactly the same as like the
Yeah.
normal one. And like speaking of shinies, I remember. Do you remember how it's done now? But do you remember how like Zero Aura, everyone had to like fight like a million Zero Aura to get the free
Yeah, yeah,
shiny?
that just finished. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, it was funny because I looked up like the counter for it, and there were so many screenshots of people that were fighting the shot like a shiny Zero Aura, but they still couldn't
Yeah, that
catch it
was going all
because
over Twitter. People were mad because they were fighting the shiny form because it apparently had like a higher spawn rate than usual. And
yeah,
with the shiny charm you get,
I
it
am a
increases the
free
chance.
winner. I let everybody else battle it, and then when they said, "Oh, you get one for free," I was like, "Here I am, getting it for free."
Yep.
yeah,
You let everyone else just do the work, and I had no problem with like the raids were fun for the most part.
yeah.
It was wild how strong 5-star was.
I know Zero Aura was so strong. Like it was crazy.
What's I don't know if I like or don't like the fact that you get it at level 100 though.
Mm.
You do?
Yeah, so when you pick it up for free, you get it at level 100.
I
That.
mean,
Mm.
I don't know. That could be a fumble.
Like, had it been level 50, I would have been totally cool with it because I'm like, oh, I can just raise it how I want.
Yeah, yeah,
But now that it's like level 100, I'm like, oh,
yeah. There's not really much you can do with it at that
yeah.
point.
I'll be
Like,
honest, I thought Zeraora was an electric fighting type because it just kept using close combat every single time we were fighting it, and I'm just like, damn.
is it not electric
No,
fighting?
it's a pure electric.
What?
Right? That was my
No.
thing. It was like that thing should be a fighting type.
Okay,
I'm
that kind of that kind of reminds me of how like it's funny because to me personally, you know how Incineroar is like fire dark, but
Yeah.
like but I think that literally is because like they were probably trying to make because Incineroar is like a wrestler,
Yeah.
so he was probably going to be a fighting type, and also his special move is called Darkest Lariat,
Yeah.
so he was probably supposed to be a dark type. I'm sorry, a fighting type, but they were like, oh no, people don't like the firefighting types anymore, so we're gonna make him dark. But the
Yeah.
thing is, like, Incineroar inherently is probably one of the most like apt choices to be a firefighting. So it just I don't know.
Yeah,
It was weird.
especially by design. But
Yeah.
yeah. Going back to Animal Crossing real quick though, like I'm surprised Animal Crossing hasn't really done any crossovers with like anyone, at least in New Horizon as far as I know. They haven't done any crossover with any other games right now.
I'm hoping that'll happen in the future, at least. You
Yeah.
know what like completely aside, I would really like want like this game specifically, New Horizons, to do like a Sanrio collection, mainly because I know Pocket Camp got it, and I had fallen out of Pocket Camp when it happened, and then when I got back into it, I was like, damn, I really missed this. But I feel like it would be really nice to have like a cutesy collection, mainly because like I live for things that are cute.
I mean, back when we had Dan on, we actually were analyzing like the Nintendo mobile games, and
Hmm.
Pocket Camp died so quickly.
Yeah, and the people who like held on, I think, got rewarded for that because there was a lot of like really cool releases for it, like furniture wise and clothing wise. And now it's just kind of like, and I see that a lot of people like on Twitter are always like, I guess, kind of like clowning Nintendo for like making Pocket Camp like have a lot more cooler things. But I just think that it's because people are impatient and they're not willing to wait for like better furniture, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I mean, I played Pocket Camp. That's my only time I've ever played Animal Crossing, was Pocket Camp, if you can even count that. And I played for 2 weeks, and then I was like totally bored of it. Like I remember the first 3-4 days, I was having fun. Like I guess trying to get stuff and trading with people, or if we were trading, I can't remember. It's been a
Yeah.
I mean,
while.
you could sell things and people could buy them, so kind
Yeah.
of trade.
But yeah, there wasn't like I didn't find much to do after that. And I mean, maybe because it was an early release of the game, but I was bored of it.
Yeah, no, I get that. I also fell out of it and then went back. I think earlier this year.
Yeah, it's kind of like I would say my closest comparison would probably be Fire Emblem Heroes. I played it when it like first came out, like when it was just dropping. Stopped after a while because they were doing like was a game that was getting like weekly to monthly updates, and then now that I've come back, there's so much more to do.
Oof.
Honestly, I only played that game because I wanted to impress the guy who was going to be my boyfriend.
Uh, oh, that's kind
Ah,
of
yes,
sweet.
the long game.
The long con, you know?
You just so long as you stick to the long con, it'll usually pay off.
I mean, now we're together, so that so
There you
did it
It worked
go.
work?
out. It worked
Hey,
out. Yeah.
You heard it here first. Fire Emblem Heroes can get you an SO.
Oof. Furiously downloads Fire Emblem Heroes to my.
Results may vary.
Damn it.
I just want Astrid to have like a little online blog of like how Fire Emblem Heroes got me an SO.
Yeah, you could be like one of those like romantic advice people that like are like
you know,
this is
I
how.
really want like a column. Like if I were to make a blog, I'd call it like the salty spittoon, right? And it would be people who like came to me with like really petty things, and it would be me just either validating or being like, "Girl, you need to let that go." And then there would be like a love column, and then I feel like it'd be like a bunch of people who are like, "My man did this to me," and I'd be like, "Leave him."
I would honestly, I would read it just to see the interactions you get out of it, just to see the interactions.
Yeah.
And like my favorite thing to do as of late is to go on that like Reddit thread. I guess I don't know. I don't use Reddit, but like I like to read it, and like it's like the "Am I the asshole" one,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's just
r//
like
am I the asshole? That has gotten
Yeah.
really popular as of late.
especially when people come in with their relationship problems. I'm like in my head, I'm like, "Girl, he the asshole. You need to leave." Or if it's like a dude, like there was this guy, and he was like, I I was with like my girlfriend was out and said that she was with a friend, but I was with that friend because he wanted to look for engagement rings. And he was
Damn.
like, what to do? And at that point I was like, oh man, like is he gonna have to leave her? And he said that like he didn't know, and a lot of people in that thread was like, oh no, like you should leave her, she's obviously cheating. And other people were like, I think you should just like ask her and talk to her because you don't know.
Yeah.
And I was like on the train that like, hey, you should ask, like, well,
Yeah,
obviously I didn't post,
yeah,
you should totally ask. Turns out that she was actually buying a snake for him.
that's
Oh.
what I was gonna say.
And
Like, I was like, that's a little tricky because I mean, immediately you would think cheating, like someone's cheating, and because we've heard it a million times.
Yeah.
But it is potentially, it's a good side. Like, and she was getting him a gift, and in this case, it was a snake.
yeah, because he had said that he had sat down and he had talked to her, and that she was like smiling, and he like prefaces it in the post. He was like, yeah, I didn't know how to go in, but it was like eating away at me. And it turns out like his girlfriend was like really afraid of snakes, but like because it was something that he really wanted, she like went the full mile and like talked to like a couple of people, and she like adopted, I don't know, but it was a really wholesome story. And by the end of it, she was like really happy because like she knows that this guy wants to be with her forever, and he was
Yeah,
really happy because of
yeah.
that.
Oh, that's
Now,
nice.
and like, I've talked about this before, but I've gone down a rabbit hole of Reddit tubers and videos of just like r/malicious compliance, r/pro revenge, and I've watched some of the videos that is like r/am I the asshole, and it's so funny to see when a Karen posts it, and then they just get ripped to shreds by
Yeah.
like everyone on
Oh,
Reddit
yeah.
or in the YouTube
It's
comments.
it's very amusing to hear people that are obviously in the wrong think that they're right, because it's such a level of like unawareness and sort of like putting yourself on a pedestal, like I was right to like mistreat this person, or I was right to like react in the way that I did, and then people just immediately come down on them like, no, you are the asshole. Like it's
Yeah.
just so satisfying.
No, it's really funny, and it will never stop amazing me. Like I've said before, the entitlement some people have, and just the pure ignorance of themselves and like the idiocy they do.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's unfortunate. But r/am I the asshole is probably one of the best Reddit subreddit threads right now. That's just good to read through.
Sometimes, like, if I have nothing to do, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And I'll just sit there for, like, hours.
Oh, trust me, I got you. If you want Reddit entertainment, I got a bunch of Reddit videos to show you that'll just entertain you for a while.
Absolutely.
I'd say my favorite like content on Reddit is definitely like the food categories. Like it's so great.
R/food porn is pretty good.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I mean, like I enjoy a lot of those pictures that they post because it just looks like really good meals. And I'm like, ooh, I should try cooking this sometime.
I feel like whenever I say that I'm gonna cook and then I, like, have a bunch of recipes and then I buy the ingredients, it's like something in my brain tells me you need to order out right now. Like, and I never get to it.
Oh my gosh, like we literally just recorded an episode where we talked about the irony of food, and that's
Yeah.
perfect. That's perfect right there. Because we were talking about, like, literally on the last episode, we were just like, so we'll just go to some food place that specializes in one thing and just not order that specialty whatsoever.
Oh, I felt that.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
like
funny because I said, "Oh, sorry, Javi, go ahead."
no, I was just gonna say it's like going to Uncle Julio's and like ordering like the like chicken nuggets and like mac and cheese or something like that. It's like it's basically that. Like like what are you doing?
If
It,
you're not listening to those fajitas go, then what was
Like if you're not getting that like sizzling hot like skillet like on your plate with the cheese, the guacamole. Okay, I could go on for days about Uncle
no,
Julio's.
no,
Okay.
I'm right there behind you though. Like, if your fajitas are not sizzling when they come out, something's wrong.
Trash, basura.
Here's the thing though, like as much as I'm like gassing up fajitas and everything, I will never order them. Why? Because you know everybody, like the waiters take the longest possible route so everyone in the restaurant can hear your plate sizzling, and then they have to find out who ordered them. And
Yeah.
then when they put the plate in front of you, you know at least some Chad is in the background going, "Oh my god, I should have ordered that." And at that point, it's just damn, I can't really enjoy my meal because you're all watching me like take that first bite and trying to see if I'm actually gonna enjoy it.
There have
Nice.
definitely yeah, there have definitely been times where I go to Uncle Julio's and I'll be like, order something different for once. Like I'll order like the salmon or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I get my plate and then I see like my friend get like a big juicy fat piece of like hanger steak and I'm like, I should have gotten the fajitas, man. What am I doing?
I will say, like, any dish that's sizzling when it arrives is great to me. So I don't really go to Uncle Julio's as much. Like, I've been a couple times, but where I go is a
Yeah.
local place called I Jalisco,
Oh yeah, that's really good.
and like when they bring you out either the fajitas or fried fish, like
Mm.
that shit burn when you eat it because it's like so hot and it's loud too because they got a small restaurant space so everyone can hear it when it comes
Yeah.
out, no matter where you're sitting in the restaurant or who you are, you can just hear it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Is it truly a Hispanic dining experience if your plate isn't screaming at you? And the waiter will be like, "Oh, the plate is hot," and I'll be like, "Yeah, thanks," and then I'll touch the plate anyway and burn myself. Like I'm pretty sure they give you that disclaimer so you don't like sue the restaurant. But he'll
Yeah,
be like,
yeah.
plate? And I'll be like, "Yeah," and then like the monkey portion of my brain is like, "You need to touch that plate right now," even though it's
Honestly though, like the sizzling sound in itself is a disclaimer. Like if you're touching that while it's making that sound, that's on you if you get burned.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way actually.
Though, like, I will always say, like, I love the fact that any Latino place I go to eat always has the best drinks to go along with the food too.
Ooh, ooh, ooh,
yes.
ooh, ooh. I mean, just like there are certain like archetypes of like places that I know have like certain things that I'm definitely looking for. So for example, like Tex-Mex and like Salvadoran places, I'm
Yeah,
getting that
yeah.
horchata. I'm getting that ensalada de fruta. I'm getting that shit right now. And then if I go to like Peruvian places, I'm getting that Inca Cola. I'm getting that what's the bubblegum one? The
Oh,
what
I
is
know what
it?
you're talking about. I don't remember what it's
Yeah.
called.
But yeah, I'm getting that Inca Cola. I'm getting that cola champagne. That like that's just what we do around here, you know? Like it's just so great.
I know that the owners or at least the chefs have some form of like Salvadoranian blood in them
Hmm.
when I see horchata is on the menu, and I'm just like, please, right
Yeah.
I'm
here.
hot take. I think that drink is awful. Like I can hear all the Hispanics in like the country going, "Oh, canceled." But I don't know about it that I just can't stand.
Is it like the sweetness or like the like
I think all the ones I've had just like feel really gritty. Like I don't
oh
know if that's just because it was made wrong, but I always feel like I'm drinking something that's got a little bit of sand in it.
no, it's
Okay, no,
because
I feel you on that. I understand what you're saying there.
no, yeah, it's because like you said, it wasn't prepared properly, or it just it's too saturated. So like if they put too much of the mix or like the actual horchata, like you know, it's basically rice flour.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if they
So
put too much of it, no, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, no, I was just gonna say. So for the listeners who may have never like, who are looking at this, like, what is horchata, or like, what is this? So horchata's like a ground. I want to say, is it like a bean or something? I don't.
Most Most of the time it's rice.
Okay,
Like,
it's right. Yeah, it's like a
straight up.
ground rice drink where it's so and it's made into dust. So you usually mix it with like water, milk, or people have different ways of making it.
Yeah.
And so like it's supposed to have like some of that dust with like best way to for lack of a better term, it's supposed to have that dust within the drink. But depending on how it's made, it can have a lot of dust at the bottom, or it can only have very little.
Yeah. And if they don't make it properly, there's gonna be a lot of it at the bottom, and so basically what you end up with is like literally like wet sand at the bottom of your drink.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I can kind of get that,
No,
but the part of
I
it,
can get why you wouldn't like it. It tastes really good to me,
yeah,
but like I really have to mix it to make sure I don't have any like any of the sand at the bottom of it, like or dust again, lack of a better term. But it's still really good to me though.
yeah,
I prefer like those drinks that have a bunch of like cut up fruit in them.
yes, it's a lot of fruit that is so delicious.
Those are
I love
good.
it.
I'm
So
not gonna
good.
lie, those hit right. The
Oh my god.
one drink I wish they actually made over here right though, like you have to go outside of the U.S. for this, is a drink called maracuya,
Mm,
and
Ooh.
that shit slaps. But I can't get it fresh here in the U.S. because like I think it's passion fruit,
it's passion fruit,
essentially.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
It
like
is
it is pure passion fruit. Like it is just they suck out the juices and put it just into a glass and like it doesn't even need to be sweetened. Like it's just
No,
naturally sweet as the drink itself, and they prepare it just right. And like a cold glass of that, so good.
I don't know
The only
if
passion fruit, oops, sorry, but it's like the when you go to the Latino market and they sell it frozen, like just the pulp.
oh yeah.
Yeah, no, it don't always work for me that way.
No, I was gonna say, have you guys ever had wanabana?
Can't
Yes.
say I have. I can't say I
Wana
have.
If you don't know what wanabana is, think about like the sweetest, but like one of the sweetest things you could taste without it being like cloyingly sweet, and also being good for you. Like that's what wanabana is. It's
I'll give it a
so
shot.
it's delicious,
I'll
honestly.
give it
Like
a shot.
yeah, I don't know what the best comparison to it would it be for like taste wise.
Yeah,
It's just like a very sweet, like tropical, like sort of fruit that you can just like taste how like I
yeah,
feel invigorated after like drinking it. It's
yeah.
great.
If I can think of the like not wildest but let's say quote unquote exotic like Latino drink I've had is I don't know if you guys have ever heard of something called semilla jicaro,
Never
and
actually.
it's essentially like dragon fruit. I think is the closest comparison I can
Oh,
think of.
okay. Yeah.
It's like lemonade mixed with dragon fruit, and it has like a very pink to purplish look, but
Uh-huh.
it goes down super sweet. But it has a little bit of bitter or sourness to it
Uh-huh.
as well. So it's like you'll have it mostly sweet, but at the very end you get a little bit of sour.
Yes. Also, going back to guanabana for a second, I think the English name for it is soursop.
Yeah, it is. It's yeah.
Really?
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so if you look for it, like sometimes they sell the cans of it, like you know that it's like I don't know, I don't want to say that it's Goya brand, but you know those like white cans that they
Yeah.
also
Yeah,
sell for
yeah,
I know
yeah,
what you're talking about. It's the same company that sells the coconut like milk. Like it like I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah. I know what you're
it.
saying. Yeah, no, they have their hands in like every drink or anything you want to get exported from like from anywhere. And for me, though, I love going into Latino markets and finding something that you just can't get at a regular grocery store.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like is it okay? I don't know if this is weird or not, but I'm very surprised with how popular Takis is that it's not at more like supermarkets. Like I don't understand
I
that.
agree. I agree. Like I will
I
see
also
Takis at certain gas stations and Latino stores, but that's about it.
Yeah, I never see it at like a Giant or something like that. It's only at like Latino markets and maybe like at 7-Eleven. I've never
Yeah,
seen it at
yeah.
like a Latino.
I have seen it in some vending machines though.
Yeah, yeah.
oh my god, speaking of, taki related things, it's like it's spicy so that's how my brain's relating it, but you know how you can buy like tahine
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
little tiny bottles. Well, I saw a video on TikTok once, and it was like, this white lady was holding it, and she was like, "Oh my god, I love tagine," and I was like, I paused the video because I was like, "There's no way I heard that right." And I click it again, and she's like, "Oh my god, tagine is so good. Have you guys ever tried it on fruit?" And I like, it took all of my body to like resist the comments because I was like, I don't want to see it. Like people are gonna like roast her and flame her, and I see all the Latinos comments like, "Girl, that's tahine," and they would like put an accent on it, or people would try to spell it phonetically.
Yeah.
And then her next video, and she was like, "Guys, it's actually tagine," and I was like,
Whoa. Okay.
Excuse me?
Whoa. Yo. Okay. I was fine with her being like, "Oh, okay, it's called tagine" because she didn't know. But her saying that like it's tagine because she says it is. Oh my god, that made me so mad. Like,
Yikes. Yikes. That's a whole different conversation right there. But I'm not about to get into that. But yikes.
in the comments, she tried to justify it by saying it's like the English pronunciation, and I was just kind of like, okay.
how
Sure.
like
Uh-huh.
okay. You know what? I'm gonna leave it at that because that honestly could like be like 20 minutes of just like
That
yeah.
again, that's a whole different conversation right there.
Yeah.
That I'm just not gonna get into right now because that would take the rest of the episode.
Literally.
God, but I mean, it's like, so I don't know. It's interesting to me though. Like I've watched videos of like of people discovering quote unquote discovering Latino foods, and I'm just
Columbus.
like, oh, I just had that like last week. Why are you guys so why are you guys so surprised by this?
Well, see, I don't have a problem with like people sharing like their appreciation for food that they just found out about because I think that's nice. Like
Yeah,
especially if like because those people obviously like have different audiences than we do or we might have. So it's nice for them to like spread the word about like, oh hey, look, let's see, I don't know, like these candied peanuts or something like or like this wanabana is really good. You guys should try it. I don't mind that. It is though like kind of like I made a joke about like Columbus.
yeah,
Like Christopher Columbus, like it's like they're saying like, oh, nobody knows about this. Like when there's a huge community of people, like aka like Latinos, that already knew about this for like years. So
yeah.
it's
See,
like,
that's my thing. It's like, again, that's why I was like quote unquote discover. Like it's a new food that literally no one's heard about. Like one of the videos I watched was the plantain chips,
yeah,
which
oh,
in themselves just slap. Most of
mm,
them are really good.
yeah,
But like it was this guy who would just like, oh, I'm doing it like a review of these snacks and stuff, and he's like, oh my god, how has no one ever tried these before? And you literally see a video of him go to a Latino store, and I'm like, we know this exists already. Like people are not unaware of this. Like maybe it's new for you, and that's cool to promote it, but
yeah,
like
yeah.
But damn, y'all.
like we're here, we
My
knew about it.
my favorite thing is like when I see like captions on Twitter and it's like, "Let me put you on something," and then it's like a mango with hot sauce on it, and I'm like, oh, do y'all not do this? Or like watermelon that's been dipped in tahini. I'm like, who, are you guys just like? I feel like sometimes it's like people just knock the thing over and it gets on a fruit and they're like, ooh, I'm gonna try this.
No,
But
literally, it's like they grabbed the wrong like thing from the pantry and they literally just like dropped it on there, and I was like, oh, this is exotic. Yes, this is very.
I will say though, like, if y'all have ever had like lemon or lime with just sugar sprinkled all over it, that actually is really good. Like, I'll have that as a snack from time to time.
Really, I've never thought about that. Cause like when you think about it, lemon and lime, yeah, they're citrus, but I would never eat them like an orange or a pomegranate. Like that's just not something I would ever do.
I've seen
So that's
people
interesting.
peel lemons and eat it like that.
Yeah, no, people will just straight up eat lemons like an orange slice.
Like a
Oh my,
freaking clementine. I'm like, Jesus.
yo,
That I
that's
can't do. I can't just straight up eat a lemon or lime, but like with lemon or lime, and then you just sprinkle sugar on it. Like, and it doesn't even have to be a lot. It's just a little bit to where it
mhm.
like sinks in a bit. Yeah, I've had that. Like my parents introduced that to me, and it's actually pretty good. Fun fact:
So
it's also a good acne remedy.
huh. That's another thing about Latino food is like it feels like everything is either like really good for you or it's gonna like send you to like hell. Like like it's like if you eat like a certain amount of ginger and like lemon and like you drink tea, you're gonna like go
Yeah,
to heaven like for free. But if you eat like let's say like I don't know like a margarita like a cookie, or if you eat like a chicky before dinner, you're gonna be meeting the devil real soon. Like that's what it feels like.
My favorite thing is that my mom will just like immediately solve everything with a can of ginger ale.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, I
Yeah,
have a
no,
headache. She's
I'm
like,
I'm
oh,
Yeah.
to that. Like I'm fully aware of that because that would literally be the remedy to when I would get stomach aches as a kid. My mom would just be like, "Okay, go buy him some ginger ale."
Yeah.
like lately, like my sister's like, oh mom, I have cramps, and my mom will be like, have some ginger ale and then put some Vicks, and I'm like, what does that do?
It's like,
Look, we don't know what it does, but it works at the end of the day. That's the wildest part.
oh my god. Yeah.
Like I think my mom single-handedly saves Vicks' company like all the time. Like she buys enough that I'm pretty sure she's keeping the company afloat by herself.
I don't. Do you guys know what a kofal is?
Yeah,
Do you
Yes.
guys?
yeah.
Yeah, my mom definitely. I think she should like. I think before, I think she should definitely be at least like a minority owner in the company, like because the amount of money she's invested in there's like Kofal Fuerte and then there's like the blue cap, which I don't know what it's
Yeah.
called, but like it's like another type. The amount of money she spent on that, and the amount of times she's brought it back from Costa Rica whenever she goes is like she definitely it'd be unfair for she should be like the spokesperson or something for
Yeah.
like that company
No,
because
legit
she
though.
yeah
Like, and my parents, they buy Ardenica, which is just like, I'm
yeah
like, damn, do
same
we own like
yeah
2% of this company now? Because they
yeah
stock up on that. And I'm just like, we're
You know,
never without it.
they actually sell some of that at Whole Foods.
Really?
are you serious?
All itself.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh, Whole Foods is starting to get into the Latino market game.
Yeah, but then they're gonna like gentrify it and like call it like healing remedy from like an exotic land or some shit like that and sell it for like
I can see that.
$15 like
I can definitely see that.
like yeah, but I mean
Heal-
that again is like another like completely different discussion like
Yeah, again, whole different discussion that could go. That could be an entire episode in itself.
oh yeah.
That's a whole series, honestly.
No kidding. But no, I was about to say, like, to what I've seen for Latino food, that thing can either be a meal or it can be a freaking medical cure to something.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen it, like, both you and Astrid have experienced how my mom will make this chicken soup,
Yeah.
and I swear on her name that that shit can raise the dead at this point.
Mm.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I've experienced it. I know.
Cause like
Same.
anytime like me and my dad are feeling bad, she'll just make it, and she makes it like on the fly too. She'll make it like within 3 hours and give her an afternoon, like 3-4 hours. She has it done and ready to go, and it's that big pot that I feel like every Latino mom has.
You
I could
mean
probably feed a whole army.
Yeah.
you mean the tamale maker that you fill like with 50 tamales for Christmas and
Yes,
shit like
yeah,
that?
exactly. Like, you don't know where they bought it from or what place even sells it because you never see it in stores, but they have it.
I feel like most of the time that's definitely something that's either like an heirloom or something you get for like your wedding or something like that.
Yeah,
Because like I've
probably.
never seen it, honestly.
I don't think, no,
Honestly-
legit though, I don't think I've ever seen it sold in stores.
Because you have to go to like a flea market to get one.
Oh my god, flea markets. Oh, can we talk about flea markets for a second? I appreciate I can't remember what it's called, but there's one I think near Wheaton where
Okay.
it's like there's like an outdoor flea market where like you can like see like all the like you can like see like a bunch of like bootleg stuff, but then they also like rent out a warehouse where like they're selling like a bunch of stuff in there, and it's just incredible. I don't know if you've ever gone to the specific one I'm talking about, but
Yeah.
it's so wonderful. I love that place.
No, I've been to the one here actually in Germantown where they would have it at the beginning of it's on the first day of it's first Saturday of every month. That's what it is.
Is that by the fairgrounds or is that
No,
somewhere?
that's right by the 7-Eleven. That's like on the way to the grocery shopping area, like to all the shopping centers and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The last time I went to a flea market, it was back when I was still in middle school. Oh god, it's been so long. But I remember like my phone was not charging anymore. Like And my dad was like, "Oh, it's fine. Like, we'll go somewhere. Like, we'll go and buy you a new one." So I was thinking we were gonna go to like, like the Sprint and just be like, "Hey, give me like the cheapest phone you can find," because
Yeah.
I'm a middle schooler. Like, I don't really need like anything super fancy. And he takes me to a flea market. I was like, okay, this is fine, like this cell phone booth was right next to like a woman who was selling tamales, but also on the other side, those like they call them ethnic blankets now, but like the
Yeah.
ones with like tigers on them and they're thick.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So my dad goes and he's like, "Do you guys have like any like flip phones or anything?" And this lady pulls one out, right? And she pulls it out of the box. And it looked like a really nice phone, but for the life of us, like we put like the SIM card in and we were gonna like so we buy it, right? And we take it back. It wasn't like super expensive, but it wasn't
Yeah.
like really cheap either. So we take it to the Sprint and the lady looks up the phone and she's like, this was reported stolen.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yikes.
Yo.
And I were like
Yikes.
literally, like in that sense, my like middle school brain was like, oh my god, we're gonna get arrested because we bought a phone from the flea market. But my dad had like the mind to take a photo of where he got it from, like
Oh
of
wow.
the right. But he
Yeah.
didn't tell the lady where he got it from. He like who or like what the exact location. It was like we actually bought this phone. Like here's like the location, and he like luckily he got a receipt.
Yeah.
And
Oh, wow. Wait, he got a receipt for a stolen phone?
literally he got a receipt. You know how they have like those little cash registers that you can just buy
Yeah,
online.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they give him a receipt and everything, and she's just like, so like the woman didn't even take the phone, which I thought was like funny, but she's like, you might as well go return this, and I was just like, you're not even gonna like find out where it was stolen from?
At that point, I feel like she's just thinking, I don't get paid enough to deal with that.
Yeah.
Most likely. But I remember we went back, and my dad was like, oh, it didn't work for us. I would like my money back, and they gave him his money back. But like, I just remember the sheer terror, and that's like I think that's one of the funnest experience I've had in at a flea market.
I've definitely
My
had some ups and downs going to a flea market, but the last time I
yeah.
went, it definitely wasn't that good. But what I love one of the things I love about going to the flea markets is you'll get one of two types of vendors. You'll get the vendor that either really knows the value of what they're selling, or you'll get the vendor who has no idea what the value is of what they're selling.
Yeah.
And I just love that because like it's been about a year now since I've been to a flea market, but like one of the last times I went, a lady was selling a PS2. And so like online people sell PS2s for like $80, $90, even $100.
Yeah.
And she was selling it for like $35.
No way.
And I'm just like, okay, sure. And she's like, I'll throw in the games too. Say less.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Or you
so
gotta say everything else.
and I was just like, I'll take this to go.
But
No
what's the
kidding.
kicker? Did it work?
Yeah, no, it worked. The only part that didn't work was like the third party controller that came along with it. That's
Oh,
the
okay.
only thing that didn't work, but it was the third party controller, so I wasn't even mad because I'm like, that's to be expected. They didn't work in the first place.
Yeah.
Rip.
But
Yeah,
no,
I mean-
everything else worked. The only other thing I had to do was I had to buy my own memory card.
Okay, yeah. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
it didn't have a memory card, so that's where I had to drop like at least another $15 just to get like a decent sized memory card because I was like, that's right. Consoles back in the day didn't have built-in memory.
Yeah, and then it's wild to me because like the one I have for my PS2 is I say my PS2, my brother's old PS2. It's an 8 MB like memory card, and that holds like 20 game files. And I'm thinking to myself like, how was that possible back then? Like, oh my, like that's crazy
Yeah.
to me because like a game now, like a good game, like well I say good, like a graphically like nice game now is like 20 gigabytes easily. It's
Not
crazy.
even like the last two games I bought, which was Final Fantasy VII and
Gee,
The Last of Us Part 2.
yeah.
My Final Fantasy VII is like 88 gigabytes. And then The Last of Us Part 2 is 83 gigabytes. And I'm like, I'm running out of
Oof.
space on my PS4 already.
Oof. Yeah.
I don't know. It's still like, it was a surprise to me.
Yeah, but going back to stuff that you can buy at flea markets, I remember
Yeah.
one thing in particular that I really loved about the flea market was the fact that you could get like Yu-Gi-Oh cards that you usually wouldn't pack, like in like a regular like pack. And
I remember
you
you
know where I'm
showing
go-
me what you
you,
bought. I
you
remember.
yeah, you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
So I thought it was so cool because like every pack you were basically guaranteed. Like for example, like when I remember when I went, the original Yu-Gi-Oh, like the one with Yugi was
Yeah.
like still like it like that's what was airing. So what was cool back then were the Egyptian god cards in Exodia.
Yeah.
So, I was like, okay, mom and dad, can you buy me like 10 packs? Because like each one was like 50 cents, which was crazy to me.
Which already
And
is like a
like
red flag in my head.
yeah. But the thing is, it looked legit. It had like the aluminum like foiling and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and I was like, oh yes. And then pack after pack, Raw, Obelisk, Slifer,
Yeah.
and then and then Exodia, and I was like, oh my god, I have all the Egyptian god cards. And then I think I showed them to you, and then back when I had them, I showed them to my friends, and they're like, oh yeah, this is all fake, and I was like, are you serious?
Yeah, no,
Like.
it's so Javi showed me
Oh,
a tiny little like legit card binder he had for them.
oh,
And they're just like page after page, they're like all fake except for like one card was legit. And it wasn't like an amazing card or anything. It was just like one card was legit and all the others were fakes. And I'm just like, what the hell?
at that point you gotta play that song. It's like, where did I go from?
It's really funny to me though because some people will actually buy fake cards at like market value of other cards nowadays because people
Oh
That's
my
actually
all.
god.
collect the fake cards.
Wow. Dude, I can make a fortune off the fake shit I have now then. Holy crap.
That's where you
I
get your
really
pocket money.
like movies. Like the stalls that had them, and they would claim that they had movies that weren't even released yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Like flea markets have created some of the best. I say this in a weird way, but flea market stereotypes are some of the funniest things to look at. Of like the shady vendors, someone selling old ass toys, or again like the people who are selling like premium grade stuff, and then you're not even sure why they're at a flea market or anything. But
I like
yeah,
that. Like how most at least the one that I went to, like all of the merch was in the front, like merch as if it were anime or convention, but like it had
yeah,
all of like the stuff that they were selling was in the front, and in the back there was like a whole food court.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
I know what
yeah.
you're
No,
talking about.
no, actually, yeah, same. Actually, that was very similar to the one I had. Like they had like a literal like food court of just like all this like different Latino food you could get. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I mean, it's like I remember the biggest flea market I've ever been to was like a Latino hosted one that happened here at the Germantown Soccerplex,
Mm.
and like I remember that was the like biggest flea market ever. They had everything. They had like the freaking um, blow up obstacle courses. They had food stalls. They were selling all this stuff, and it was like taking up 2 fields. And I'm like, damn, what is
That's
going on
crazy too.
here?
Professional soccer teams literally rent out like a field for like $200 an hour. So that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So I'm just like, damn, they stepped up their game when it came to this stuff.
Do you have to do you think they like all the vendors there have to pay to be there?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, they
yeah,
do.
that's how it
Yeah.
usually works. Is like there's a organization that like rents the space out and sets it up for the vendors, and then the vendors pay like a share of just to be in that space.
Jeez,
Yeah,
official business, am I right?
Stonks.
yeah.
Dumb.
So, do you guys find it weird or like really interesting when you see the same vendors at like the different flea markets?
I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. I've only been to one, and I've been loyal to that. I say loyal as if I had any choice. I've always gone to the same one, ever since I was a kid. Because like my parents like dragged me along, and when I was a
Yeah, yeah,
kid,
yeah.
I didn't like it going because I was like, "There's nothing here." But then like as I grew up, I was like, "Oh my god, like I can get like freaking Donkey Kong Country for like $2." Like yes, thank you so
Jeez.
much. Oh yeah, it's insane, and they actually have like the one I went to. You could actually plug in the games into like a legit system, and that's how you knew it actually worked. So
Oh,
I
I would
actually
have loved
appreciated
to have
that.
seen that.
Yeah, it was really good actually. Yeah,
Incredible.
but yeah,
I think now that I'm like an adult, I have my own apartment and everything. Like, I think I'd enjoy flea markets a lot more because like they would have a whole like house appliances
Yeah.
and
No,
have
legit.
like dinner plate sets, forks, knives. You want some like really nice kitchen like cooking knives, like chef knives? Here, we got them.
Yeah. No, I get that. And like
Now
for
I'd be able to appreciate it more.
and I'm gonna say this like because when I go to conventions and stuff, for anime and all that stuff, it's really interesting because I learned all my bartering skills going to flea markets.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Like my parents taught me like never just go for like an immediate price unless they're not budging on it. Just like always ask if you can get at a different price. And I'm like, damn. Okay, so yeah, it was really interesting learning that, especially for my mom. She's very cutthroat when it comes to deals.
I think like specifically for anime conventions, like now branching off of that,
Yeah.
I think that when it's like a booth that is selling like merch from like another store, like how there's some booths where they buy things just to resell them.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Mm.
more to like barter at those, but whenever I see an artist, like an artist table, and they're like, oh no, like I feel like my prices are too high, and they're charging like
Yeah.
$10 for one pin, I'll be like, I will give you literally 20 for this. Stop like selling yourself short.
Yeah.
Like I
No,
will
yeah.
Yeah.
full price all of your art.
The only time I've ever like really bartered with artists is when they, or not even like bartered with them, is when they have their own deals where they're like, oh, buy 3
Okay.
prints and like I'll give you a 4th one for free. And I'm like, okay, cool, I can do that. Or they'll do there was this one time when I was at like the last convention I went to, the guy was like, oh, beat me in Smash and I will take like $5 off the print you buy. But you had to pick a print beforehand. So I was like, I bought my Demon Slayer print, or I picked it out, and then I got totally annihilated in Smash. But it was really cool that just that he would do that just for, to get a sale and stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean that kind of stuff is cool though, because like you're not even really bartering. That's just an incentive to like get you to engage with like the stall. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like that's literally stonks. You know what I mean? Like that's literally just them trying to like increase the chances of people coming to their stall. So it's really not even like bartering, really.
Yeah, no, it was still good at the end of the day. Like the print was 25, so I was like, oh, okay, I'll just get it for 20, whether I lose or not. It's only a $5 difference. So I mean, for me, it was pretty cool. But I mean, I think we've hit a good point of the day to wrap up.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Astrid, for joining us today. It was really good to have you on the show.
This is really fun. Like I thought I'd run out of things to say by like the 15-minute mark, and then I was just like, oh, here I am talking forever.
No, that's fine. That's how it goes with this show. Like that's why we have the podcast. It's just free form talking, and we talk about whatever. And we don't have a schedule either, so it works whenever we want to do it. But yeah, thank you so much for being on the show, and we hope to have you again in the future too.
That'd be great.
And this is fun. I definitely do this again. I just like have to get over the fact that someone in the 3rd grade told me that my voice on a recording sounds like Diego from Go Diego Go. But
Oh
God,
no!
no.
Oh
All
no!
right, so we need to go. What I'm hearing is we need to go find that person, and then we need to have a good talking to them.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But it was fun. Thank you so much.
Yep. And thank you all for listening to this episode. Thanks for sticking by. And I guess you'll hear from us next time. And when that'll be, who knows? Because it's unscheduled. So,
Yeah.
have a good one, everyone. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.